All right. Coming in 10th in 2018 in the Challenger class, driver number 15X, Skip Jackson. All right, so Skip was first. All right, we did it. All right, Bob Leonard was 10th. Yeah, Bob. So now we know who won, right? Skip, you were disqualified a couple races. You just didn't know. All right, coming in 9th, driver of the 14R, Nicholas Reed. 8th. In the 34 machine is William Van Gilder. 7th goes to Chris Horton, driver of the number 22.
I'm not going to listen to that every time they announce somewhere.
6th in points is Jessica Harvey, the 95H. Jessica, just out of curiosity, how many cars did you go through last year? Oh, not as many as, okay, right. Finishing 5th in points, guy that's been around forever, driver of the number 63, Wes Stahl. Finishing 4th in the 99E, Zach Eller. 3rd in points, pilot of the number 10N, Jeff Nunemaker. Second in points, in the 20D, Dylan Green. And your 2018 Eriez Speedway Track Champion for the Challenger class in the 15X is Skip Jackson. And Skip, you're just kidding, you didn't really get disqualified for this.
You're good. This was great.
All right, moving on to the Economod class, which actually has turned out to be a really great class. If you remember, when we first added the Economods, we were lucky to have like 5 or 6 cars. Now it's like one of the most competitive classes at the racetrack, so we're really glad we stuck with it. My personal thought on it is it's a really good entry class, kind of like the street stocks used to be. You can spend as much as you want, but you know, you can pick up a used E-Mod chassis fairly reasonable. You're running 2 barrels, you know, and you don't need the big motors. So, you know, it's a really great class to get started in, and we're very happy that it's caught on and doing as well as it is. So finishing number 10th in that class, a guy that moved up from the Challengers a couple years ago, driver of the number 16, Jason Breyton. Finishing 9th in the number 23, Gary Olson. 8th in points in the 317 goes to Zach Leonard.
Go to the garage door.
7th in points. Guy doing double duty this year between regular E-Mod and Economod, Steve Simon in the 325. I'm sorry, 32S. I'm old, I can't see, I can't hear. It's fine. Finishing 6th in the 12R, Ty Rhodes. 5th place goes to the driver of the M1, Mitch Wright.
Okay.
4th place, the 511 is Jeff Kahn. Into the top three. Third place finisher in points for the Economod class. Driver of the number 15, Kyle Miller.
Yeah, Kyle.
That's mine. I'm taking pictures. You're good. Thank you.
Second place finisher. And the 222, Eric Reinwald.
You just sit on your phone, you just sit on your seat.
Eric.
Yeah, phone.
And before we announce the track champion, I just want to let you all know this was not fixed, all right? Your track champion for 2018 in the Economod class, driver of the number 77, Matt Alexander.
Woo!
17. As in dork. 7-0.
Next up, the street stock class. And finishing 10th.
You're a maiden name.
Got kind of a late start, but still managed the top 10 in the points this year. Driver number 18K, Jim Ketternecht. I know he looks a little old to be driving a race car, but he's pretty good. Yeah, he dropped a few pounds there, Jimmy.
Yeah. What's he going to say about me?
Finishing 9th, the 299, Kyle Kokenauer. Eighth in the 84S, Josh Seifel. Seventh place goes the longtime racer driver of the 99F, Gary Fisher.
That's the butterfly. Am I thinking the right one? You all right, Junior?
Sixth place. I remember this kid when he was like 5 years old. I'm friends with his mom. And when he was just a little kid, glad to have him on the track. Nephew of Brian Emery, for those of you who might remember him. Tony Murado, number 15.
Yeah, Tony!
I thought you were going to give me a shot.
Mamba!
I'm too old not to go first. He looked like he was going to hit me, and I gave him a shot with my arm, and I felt knock him over the table.
Finishing 5th in points, driver of the number 9, Bill Appleby.
You didn't say bah. Got her done. Sheepers.
Garrett Calvert, driver of the number 77, takes 4th in points. Third in points, and the number 32 is Wesley McRae. Former track champion, taking 2nd this year, driver of the number 63C, Chris McGuire.
Yeah.
And your 2018 Street Stock Track Champion at Eriez Speedway, driver of the number 777, John Boardman. You know, his car owner, Mike Moon, let me drive his car, and I think it was the last mechanics race we had at Eriez Speedway, like back in, I don't know, 2008, something like that. And for those of you who know Mike, yeah, he's a pretty big guy. So I get in there, and I put this piece of foam rubber, like between me and the right side of the seat, and I'm going around the track, and I'm sliding around in the seat, and I'm trying to tighten the belts up, and it didn't matter how tight I got the belts. I mean, there was still this much room on either side of my butt. See, but I'll tell you what, that was a damn good car. I won that race, and the guy that finished second was driving Greg Fenno's limited late car, and I managed to get to the checkered flag before he did. So Mr. Moon knows how to build a good race car, and Mr. Boardman knows how to pilot one. So congratulations on a great year, guys. E-mods are up next. And our 10th place finisher this year, in the number 66, is Hunter Khole. Finishing 9th in the 20P, Mike Kinney.
Thank you, brother.
8th place in the 71L, Dennis Lunger. Finishing 7th in points, guy that's won a couple track championships here and there, Joel Watson in the number 92.
Hey, Joel.
6th in points this year, one of my favorite cars out there, I call it the Tyrannosaurus 27R, Steve Rex. Top 5, Randy Hall, driver of the number 68, takes 5th in points. Another former track champion coming in 4th, driver of the number 65, John Boyd. He's also a pretty good golfer, if you didn't know. Found that out this year. Coming in 3rd, a guy that's won championships in pretty much every class he's ever raced in, but taking 3rd this year in points, driver the number 29, Gary Eicher. Lori, did you do that really? I thought so. I thought I saw that too. 2nd in points, driver of the number 1S, Steve Simon. Woo! And I don't think he's here, but I'm glad he won it. I've known Troy a long time, and he's a great guy, great race car driver, great guy to be around. Our track champion for 2018 in the E-Mods, driver of the number 2J, Troy Johnson.
He was going for it. That's all right. Easy.
Don't be throwing shit now, Kelly.
Moving on to the Great Lakes. Finishing 10th. Moved up from the Challenger class right to the Great Lakes, and that's a pretty big jump. Getting the hang of it pretty well. Driver the number 17, Andy Proper. Finishing 9th in the number 9, Breyton Santee. Eighth place in points from the 11J, William Pinckney. Andy Boozel, driving with number 12B, picks up 7th in points. Sixth in points, matches his car number, number 6, Paul Norman. Top 5, driver of the number 01W, coming in 5th in points, Khole Wanzer.
Go!
4th place in points this year, former track champion. In the Z17 is Zimmerman. 3rd in points, the venerable one. He's been around since we created dirt track racing, I believe. Scott Gurdak. Remember when God first made clay, Scott? Remember that day? Clay, when he first made clay. Second place in points, another former track champion, driver the number 111, Max Blair. And your 2018 Eriez Speedway track champion, picking up another one, driver of the 29J, Jason Genco. What you might not know is Jason is really not the driver of the car. The real driver of the car is Jason Badgley.
Yeah!
Actually, Jason, you can kind of wheel around the car a little bit, right? Well, upside down. Hey, as long as it's on the track. All right, here we go, the super lates. I always call them the boys that make the noise because they are kind of loud. Remember the sportsman class, though? They were like the loudest class we ever had. Anyway, coming in 10th, believe it or not, driver of the 1-star, Chub Frank. Never heard of him. Coming in 9th, driver of the B1D, even though he missed a little time with a broken arm and stuff, Mr. Brandon Groters. Otherwise known as the Phantom.
Yeah, Brandon.
He's so fast you can't see him. 8th place in points, driver of the number 1J, Jake Finnerty. We call him the Swamp Rat. Kid that's really come around. He's going to be a force to deal with in this class in years to come. Driver of the number X Factor 3, Wyatt Scott.
Hey, Wyatt.
6th place in points, another former track champion, and the 22H Bumpy Hedman. Wow, this whole thing's loaded with track champions. Holy cow. Fifth place, 2018 for the Super Lates, another former track champion, Matt Urban. On you. Fourth in points, another track champion, driver of the 22B, Darrell Bossard.
Darrell!
He drives everything. Third place in points, not a former track champion, but I'll tell you what, maybe someday. Maybe someday. This kid's come a long way with his program, not only in the Super Lates for crates. Breyton Santee, driver of the number 9. Won the first feature in 2018 at Eriez Speedway this year. Breyton, I think that was your first one in the Super Late, right? Yeah. So, how many, all right, just out of curiosity, how many people in this room won their first feature at Eriez Speedway? Yeah. Yeah, there are quite a few people that have done that, so that's kind of cool. Finishing second in points this year, driver of the number 111, Max Blair. I don't know where our track championship came from this year. I don't know. He's another guy I've never heard of. Driver of the number 44H, Dave Hess Jr. And I was lucky enough to sample some Chew on This beef jerky, who is one of Dave's new sponsors for this year, and it is some good
Jerky.
Just saying. Get it online on Chew on This beef jerky, chewonthis.com, right, Dave?
Just chewing on it.
Congratulations, man. Nice job.
Scott, you're chewing on it now?
Before we get into the special awards, let's just take a minute and remember this guy right here. You know, Bob raced for a long time, and you know, Franny had Eriez Speedway, and it was Franny rescued the track. Let's put it that way. I mean, you know, Franny was a lot of things, but Franny did a lot of good things for racing too, and he pretty much rescued Eriez Speedway. But you know, there came a time when he just couldn't or didn't want it anymore, and Bob and Kathy stepped up, and it was Bob's vision that kept this place alive. And you know, a little bit later on this evening, we're going to be passing that torch on, but let's just take a minute to remember what kind of guy Bob Rohr really was. All right. Ready for some rookies? All right. Rookie for Challenger Class Rookie of the Year, driver of the number 34 is William Van Gilder.
Money towards the winner. Lily.
Rookie of the Year in the Economod class, Brad Boyd, driver of the 1B. Rookie of the Year in Street Stock, in the 84S, Josh Seipel. Rookie of the Year in the E-Mods, and the number 66 is Hunter Khole. Rookie of the Year in Crates, driver number 17, Andy Proper.
Oh, Andy!
And Rookie of the Year in the late models, driver of the X Factor 3, Wyatt Scott. If you're wondering why a couple of the Rookies of the Year, you know, you might have seen them in the 2017 season, but they did not race the whole season, so that's why they qualified for Rookie of the Year. Time for our most improved drivers for each class. In the Challenger class, the most improved driver for 2018 was the driver of the 20D, Dylan Green.
Dylan!
Most improved in the Economod class, and I'd say, yeah, there was a little bit of improvement. He actually won the points. Matt Alexander, driver of
Got her done!
The first place.
first year out there in the state championship.
It's fixed. You know, if I had a nickel for every time I've heard that in racing, I could go on a real nice vacation. All right, and Emon's most improved is Steve Simon, 1S.
I love it.
Most improved in the crates from the number 6, Paul Norman. And our most improved driver in the Super Late Model class, driver number 9, Breyton Santee.
Start coming up with the most oldest driver. She might win another award.
So our final 3 awards for the drivers here tonight, and you know, these are the ones that, you know, your performance on the track is one thing, but what you do off the track is another thing, and that's where these awards, the consideration for who gets these awards comes into play. And really looking at some of the guys on the list here, they're all very deserving. So we'll start with Sportsman of the Year. He's not here tonight, but a great guy. Known the family for a long time, being around racing as long as I've been around racing. And you know, his mom has been a part of State Line and Eriez, or was a part of State Line and Eriez for a very long time. And he's just a good dude. He's a really good guy. So the Sportsman of the Year, driver of the number 2J in the E-Mods, Troy Johnson.
There he is.
Jeff, you're busy. All right, driver of the year. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, we struggle every year trying to figure out, okay, you know, who's been the most improved, who's, you know, done the best in their class, and this guy really came out of nowhere. He got teamed up with, I'm going to give it away, got teamed up with Mike Moon, had a really good race car. They've done a lot of good things together, so driver of the year, John Boardman. And John, if you need a little extra foam rubber, I've got some around. And every year, I think the award that we cherish the most is this next one. It's the Fan of the Year. And it's for people that just come to the racetrack week after week after week, year after year after year. And this guy's been coming pretty much his whole life. And, you know, they're there when we have camping weekends, and you see him in the stands, and I don't know that there's too many people who love racing more than he does. So congratulations to the 2018 Fan of the Year, Trey Steinbach. Congratulations, Trey. All right, so I've been instructed to kill some time here. Nikki's taking pictures in the back room, and she wants to do a little thing before we get going with our next part of the awards. But oh, yeah, let's do that. I don't know what that is either. I have no idea what that is. But we can do this one. So for those of you who've been covering the track for a long time, you know, we've got like the best safety crew ever in racing. You know, I really challenge you to find a better safety crew at any racetrack than what we have at Eriez Speedway. So Steve, Bill, all you guys, why don't you come on up and get your deserved recognition and appreciation, because you do a hell of a job. Steve Goose is our crew leader. He's been that for quite a long time.
Single one.
And, yeah, thank you for all you do. And I know some of you have been in the situation where you've needed their assistance, right? And they pride themselves on doing the right thing as quickly as they can and making sure that safety is the first thing. And wouldn't want anybody else out there doing it besides those guys. So if anybody is picking things up for any of the drivers that weren't here tonight, now would be a good time to come up and get that stuff.
I want to go get Scott Gurdak crap.
I picked my shit up. I got extra meat too.
Does that one have raspberry in it?
Have some more brown.
Yeah, straight down on the left.
All the way
Past
out.
the dresser.
Keep walking.
That door's locked. Right out.
So one of the things that we can never do in racing without the help of these folks is sponsors. So, you know, we want to thank the people that have been involved in Eriez Speedway not only this year, but, you know, through the years. Our Challenger class, Richie, he's here tonight, Richie Niemeyer. He's always ponied up a few bucks here and there, and Candy's backed out last year. Richie stepped out and took over that class.
Go to Candy's now.
No, we're not going there.
The E-Mods, Randon Excavating, thank you very much for, you know, being around, doing all that you do. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
A guy that used to race street stock, actually I think he bought Conlon's car, that 43 car, Johnson's Car Care and Auto Center. They picked up the Economods this year, and we really appreciate that. Of course, Scott Bonnell, you know, he's been around racing forever. He's not here tonight, but I'm sure he's maybe thinking about us. But, you know, he's sponsored like everything. So, sponsor of the crate class, Bonnell's Auto Group. You know, if you need collision work done, if you need a used car, if you need glass repair, if you need somebody to call your mom for you, they've got somebody there at Bonnell's that'll take care of that for you.
How do you get it?
And the street stock class, Nelson Linwood Nursery has been with us, but probably there last year. And then, of course, there's this guy over here, sponsored the Super Late Model class. He's sponsored the E-Mod, sponsored big races. Him and Rhonda here tonight. Can we have a hand for Jeff Plyler from Plyler Entry System?
Here's Jeff!
And all the hundreds of sponsors on race cars that, you know, are just there. You know, when you see something on a race car, when you see a class sponsor, if it's somebody, if it's a service or a business that you need to do business with, try to keep it in the family, because without sponsors, we wouldn't be able to race. You know, so if you need something done, try to get it from somebody that's on a race car or something like that.
That's how I
So we're doing 50-50s?
He said, well,
Okay. $405
I said, we wouldn't be all right. No, we wouldn't.
We'll find out if it's red or white.
I don't know. I think I saw her buy a ticket.
Is that one?
Lori, he wants you to watch them.
It is a red ticket.
I can't speak. So my streak continues.
I'm filming it. It's
Red
on.
ticket.
All right, red ticket. 349817.
All right, go!
349817. Red ticket.
False
I
alarm.
thought I heard somebody go, "Ooh." Yeah, probably one of those
Nine
Alexanders
what?
over there.
You say 297? 349.
349-817. Who's got it? What, 400? There we go. Gonna bingo has been called. Hold your cards.
098.
I'll have to go ask Steve if I can get my $40 because I donated to him. Good safety guy. So these parking spots that I saved all year in the infield, I'm charging you now.
Here she comes again.
So as you know, Eriez Speedway has been really involved with auto racers for kids since Bob and Kathy took the track over in 2006. The charity kind of went through a little change in 2007, and since that time, we have raised, I think it's like $400,000 for children in need, somewhere around there, right around $400,000 for children in need. Not only here, but in Crawford County as well. We're the title sponsor for the LEGO social program with the Northwestern Pennsylvania Autism Society and now the Crawford County Autism Society. We've expanded that program. We pretty much fund all the Mill Creek schools for their backpack school weekend food program. And we give a lot of money to the refuge that takes care of families with children that are homeless. We brought Erie Dawn on board this year. Erie Dawn takes care of women with children that are homeless and in need of getting their lives turned around, and also with the Trinity Center, which is operated by the Bethesda Lutheran Services, that help kids with after-school programs, feeding, and things like that. And all of the charities that we support really fill a very big need for kids in our community. So for all of you that have supported Auto Racers for Kids over the past 10, 12 years, especially for Kathy and Bob, we thank you very much. If I can get all the board members that are here tonight from Auto Racers for Kids to come up.
Yeah, get them up there.
And then, so a couple of people are missing. Scott Bennell is our vice president, not here tonight. Jill DiMatteo is our treasurer, she's not here tonight. Chad Wagner, who operated Tri-City Speedway last year, is on our board. But let me introduce who we got here. Jim and Rhonda Eggleston, Jeff Flyler, my wife Lori, Nikki Esther, Brandon and Aaron Groters, and of course, Mrs. Kathy Rohr.
Yeah, yes!
Woo! Yes! Oh yeah, and me. Oh, I gotta get the picture. Awfully. Late. Are you taking pictures? All right, Kathy, I think we need you to stay up here. Brandon?
Yep.
So, in our gratitude to what Eriez Speedway has done over the past 12 years for Auto Racers for Kids, Brandon, here.
We wanted to just honor you, Kathy, for all you've done for Auto Racer for Kids, the racing community, and everything you've been involved with for the past 10 or 12 years with us. And this goes to both you and Bob, and we just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and you've blessed us with more than we could imagine, so thank you.
Ready to talk now?
Maybe.
Maybe I should have saved that until after you were done, huh? So as you know, we're coming to the end of an era and we're beginning a new page in Eriez Speedway history. And Kathy, I'm just going to let you take it over, and we'll give you a little minute. We understand. It's okay. Whenever you're ready.
Oh, I tell you what, when I look around this room, I see so much love. Thank you for everybody coming tonight. I know the weather's been less than ideal, but that's typical for Eriez Speedway. We should all be used to it, right? So thank you for coming out on this horrible night. But I really appreciate when I look around, I see so many people coming here. It's awesome. Thank you so much for that. I'd like to start out by thanking Quality Inn and Suites and Brittany Patouche for putting on this splendid meal and for having us here tonight. I'm really impressed with the job that you do, and I really appreciate them. Thank you for them. I'd like to start out, I mean, there's so many people to thank, but I'd really like to start out with the Redneck Race Chasers. You guys, you are the best. I mean, you guys are just what makes racing happen, and without you, I don't know what the tracks and fans and everybody would know, or what they would. You guys are just awesome, and the best part is they call me Mom, and I think that's awesome. I love you guys. Thank you.
We love you too, Ma.
So here we are, 13 years in. Wow, I don't know where the time went. We've certainly had some good times. We've had some bad times. I think we'll start off with my officials and my staff and the safety crew. I think I have the best of anybody anywhere. These people, they come together, they make it work, they make it happen. The safety crew is awesome. I think they're absolutely the best. We are lucky to have them. My staff, they just make things work. Case in point, July 2nd, 2016. When Bob passed away. We had the Mike Farr Memorial, and I want to thank Bobby Farr. She's here tonight. I'd like to thank her for coming. So it was the Mike Farr Memorial, and I was home, of course. And the staff, they just, I don't know how they did it, but they pulled together. They made it work. They did the track salute in honor of the guys that passed. And I'm telling you, thanks to the Rednecks, they videoed that, and that'll be something that'll live in my heart forever. I will never forget that sight. When I was on my back porch that day, and I actually got on Facebook and I saw that, wow, that salute was awesome. They pulled that together, and they put together a successful night that night. They just did it on their own. That's what they do. They're the best that we have. And I want to thank my officials, safety crew. You guys, I love you. And I'll never forget the time we had together. Thank you. Now we're, the next people I need to really thank is the racers and the fans. You guys are the backbone of any track. I mean, without you, we have nothing. You are what makes it work. I don't even know how to thank you for being at Eriez, for trusting us and believing in us, and spending your hard-earned money on the equipment that you have, and being there with us and spending Sundays with us. I can't thank you enough for that. You've actually helped Eriez grow. Where would we be without you? Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
So, it was Bob's dream to make Eriez a fun and great place to race. I hope I can say he accomplished that. And that will be his legacy. He loved Eriez. And he will live on, I hope, in your hearts. And that's why I have him with us tonight. He started it. I think he should be here to finish it. So with that in mind, I'd like to move on to the best part of the evening. As you all know, the track is sold. It is bittersweet. It's something that had to be done. But I don't know. It's hard for me to let go. You've been part of my life for a very long time. I thank you for that. But time moves on, and I am very confident with where it's going. So let me find this last one here. So I am confident on the person that bought Eriez. I'm confident in him. In fact, I haven't said anything to him, but he reminds me so much of Bob.
Yes, he does.
He's going to make a great track, and he's excited, and he's willing to step up and make Eriez the best it is. And I'm so glad that he's the one that's doing it. At this time, I would like to introduce the new Eriez Speedway owner, Dave Alexander. You guys are going to be excited and happy that he is here. He is an awesome guy. He's going to take Eriez on to where it can be. And I am so happy and excited for him. Thank you, Dave.
Not much for speeches, but here I am. My name is Dave Alexander. I live in Waterford. I'm neighbors of Kathy and Bob. Known them for 30, 40 years. I'm not even sure how long. And whether, you know, I didn't talk to Bob for a week at a time or several times a week, he was always racetrack and what he was working on and all that stuff. So even if I wasn't at the track, I still knew a lot of what was going on, you know, with the track. I am married to Christy, my wife here, and I got 6 kids. Hopefully they won't hate me for making them go to work. I plan on having them do it a lot. But I did race for a while, and I got wrecked, and they told me I couldn't race no more. And after that, I didn't go to the races as much just because I couldn't go and watch everybody else do what I like to do. But I tried to talk my son into going racing, and he said, it seems like a lot of work and money. I'm like, well, yeah. So after 10 years, I finally talked him into it, and he's done okay. But I guess what I come to about the track, I always ask, whenever Bob said he was buying a track, I'm like, why would you want to do that? And he said, to improve the place and preserve the place, and
yes.
that's did that. And you know, after going to races for years and years, you know, what do you get when you come back to the track? I run into Andy Kenya and his wife and son, the McGuires and their son, Bob, Kathy, my sons, you know, Bruce Mordusky who helped me, Toby and his wife, just family, the workers, you know, through the whole place here. And I guess when people say, why didn't you buy the place? I can't imagine that not being there. So that's why I bought, hopefully with the help of the good workers.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
What I didn't tell Dave. Here comes the bad part.
You get Kevin Ferraro.
Yeah, we have Kevin Ferraro. I mean, every track needs a Kevin Ferraro. Shakes. Woo! Poor Dave, I'm sorry. There's a few of those. But there's going to be, I mean, the pluses are well worth it. The satisfaction you get of creating a good night. I used to come out of my office and smell the food and the people laughing and milling around. It just made my heart happy. You're going to find that too. The success that you create with what you do is so satisfying. But there's going to be those nights. You're going to go home and go, what was I thinking?
Yes, yes.
Too late. Thank you so much. And by the way, if you're even thinking about going home, they have plenty of rooms left. They're like $69. They're really cheap. I really want you to think about it rather than brave those roads.
Skipping away, so it don't matter.
But in the end, I can't thank you all enough. My heart will always be in Eriez. It'll never leave. It was a legacy that Bob and I had that will never go away. So thank you all for being part of my life.
You're welcome, Mom.